All right, that's time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I believe this is the last Thursday we're going to be doing this. I don't think I've heard anything as far as next week. You know what? Give me just a second. Let me text my kid and make sure his butt is out of bed for advisory. Okay. Um, I haven't heard anything as far as next week because it's conference week, like if we're having advisory or not. I am assuming no. Uh, but again, I haven't heard any official word on that. So hopefully they'll be emailing that out and contacting you guys, or posting it on like your dashboard, right? So like I'm in Canvas right now. If you go to your dashboard, sometimes they'll have like announcements at the very top. Um, so just be on the lookout for that. But again, I'm thinking no, just because we're in conference week and the schedule's all jacked up, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I think after spring break they'll continue with the Tuesdays. I think the Thursdays was just a prep for conferences to make sure everybody's schedule. That's what everybody's main concern is, that everybody's schedule is built for next year. The one thing that I want to do, and again, I'm sharing right now, so I can't see the chat box, but if you can take 5 seconds and just type yes or no into the chat. You could send me a direct message, like you can just message me, or you can message the whole class. It doesn't matter. Type yes if you have built your schedule and you have submitted it in Skyward and everything is good to go. Type no if you have not done that yet, but are planning to do it today. Don't wait until after today. We got to get those schedules built and in. Again, schedules are one of those kind of first come, first serve things. So if you're trying to get into like a highly sought after class and it fills up quickly, obviously, if you're first to sign up for it, you'll be first to put into it. If you're last, or let's say you don't build a schedule, what's going to happen? I think I talked about it the other day, is that the counselors are just going to build your schedule. They're going to look at everybody individually, see what they need. They'll fill up those classes first. And if they need an elective and they haven't registered for anything, they're going to throw you in, underwater basket weaving or whatever's open, right? So it just, I don't know, that kind of sucks. I don't want you to be in that position. So, um, uh, so again, type in the chat box, either direct message me or just to the class. It doesn't matter. Yes. And that just means that I have registered in Skyward for my classes. No, meaning I haven't, but I'm going to do it today. Don't fall asleep tonight until you do that. Okay. Just a quick reminder before we go over today's stuff. I think it was back here on March 9th. This is that place where we basically posted a ton of stuff. We posted that 10th grade checklist, things that you should be focusing on this year. We posted the course catalog, which is basically a book of every class that Timberline offers with the description, right? We posted this high school graduation credit checklist. Again, you can print this off if you're one of those tangible people that like to have something to write on. That's the way I am. We did that with my daughter when we registered her for classes the other day, because she'll be a freshman next year at Thurston. So we printed it off. But again, this is also an editable PDF that you can save to your portfolio. That way you can treat it as a living document. You can keep editing it and changing it. And things like that. So make sure you have one of those two things, either that editable PDF in your portfolio or print this off and make sure you're good to go, okay? Don't assume that the counselors are doing it. They are doing their absolute best job with tracking people, with making sure everybody's good to go. But at the same time, how many counselors do we have? 4? I think we have 4 counselors. And I know there's over 1,000 students. So I'm guessing maybe 300 students a counselor. That's a lot of people to track and make sure are good to go, right? So put that onus on yourself and make sure that you are set up for success and that nothing's going to get missed. And, you're not going to have to take summer school because something got missed, right? And then this last thing was the course credit equivalency chart. This is that thing that basically says, if I take auto shop, it'll count as an elective, it'll count as a CTE, it'll count as a math, I don't know. But this equivalency chart lists out every class that Timberline offers, and then it gives you columns that state what that class will count towards on this graduation credit checklist. If it's math, if it's science, if it's whatever, right? Elective, CTE, whatever. So those 4 things are super important. Again, if you haven't accessed those, I would recommend you do that today. So the agenda for today is basically to re-emphasize the idea behind registering. You'll notice that I also put under this week that advisor and student checklist. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a different checklist. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this in just a second. Again, just making sure that our schedule is built. That is my number one concern. I want to make sure everybody's schedule is built. So today is the final advisor before student-led conferences. This attached checklist will show you what you're going to basically talk about at conferences. So conferences are all going to be done in Zoom. You're going to join this link at your time that you signed up for. Just to clarify some things, I've gotten some questions. Are these conferences required? No, the only conference that's required is your senior conference. If you don't do your senior student-led conference, then your advisor would mark that you didn't do it. And then now it's the job of the counselor to schedule an appointment with you and your family to go through it, because it's a state requirement. You got to go through this thing. As a senior this year, if families are busy, if you're busy, if we're just not feeling it and you're good to go, I get it. I am not doing my son's student-led conference at Thurston. We just emailed his counselor or his advisor and said, hey, we're good to go. He's got straight A's. He's on track. He's doing running start next year. Is there anything we need to know? And they were like, nope, you're good to go. Schedule is built and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it just depends on the person, the student. It depends on the family. It's totally up to you. Obviously, I'm available, right? If you want to show up. So this is basically a talking list of what we'll go over at student-led conferences. Again, my main number one concern as soon as we join our conference is going to be talking about your schedule. We're going to check in Skyward, make sure everything's built, make sure everything looks good, and then address any questions that students or families have. That's my first thing. After that, we'll start going through this. Feel free to use this as like a checklist. You can kind of look through this and just start thinking about it, right? Most of this stuff should be covered in either your portfolio, or there was this PowerPoint from a while back. I think it was like 11 pages that you can edit and basically represent all of this information on that PowerPoint. You don't have to do that. If you didn't do it, cool. But again, just use this as like imagine this is just like talking points that we're going to go through. So also, you must complete your registration through Skyward today. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait. Get it done today, please. Please, 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 please. This should have already been done, but if you haven't, do it today. Look back at past advisories. We already looked back at March 9th, which is where all that stuff was uploaded. And then let me know if you have any questions. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. If you are good to go and you don't have any questions, I hope you have an awesome day. If you do have questions or you want to talk about anything, hang back with me. Don't take off. Let's make sure all your questions are addressed. And then you can take off. All right. I hope everybody has an awesome day. We will see you next week or after spring break. Bye.